Right. So today I want to do like a study in geometry. So we are going to make some geometric shapes and we are going to shade them in light to dark or dark to light or different colors from say blue to red or something like that, or mixing them together. Once we're comfortable with that, we will be able to do things like crystals, or we'll be able to make other places where, like when there are shadows or where are three-dimensional objects that have different kinds of light falling on them, you can shade that much easier also. All right? Everyone okay with that? Okay, good. So first, I want you to try to do this in pencil, just regular pencil. I'll show this to you, and once you are comfortable with regular pencil, then we will do this in color pencil also. All right. Now this is how we are going to draw a cube. Do you know how to draw a cube? Start with 2 dots. I want you to see how I'm drawing this. I want all of you to just see this. Keep your pencils down and just see what I'm doing. Keep your pencils down. Keep your pencils down. Yeah, I want you to watch first. Don't draw with me. Draw after me. I'm going to draw it twice. The first time, I want you to follow what I'm doing without drawing. And the second time, we will draw it together. All right? Is that okay? All right. Now watch. Kyra, look up. Don't keep your pencil down. I want you to pay attention. Okay. This is how we do this. You start with 2 dots. I'm going to draw this in pen first. Kuhu, I want you to first see this. Don't draw. I want you to see the construction of the cube first, and then you will draw afterwards. You start off with 2 dots. Don't draw. Don't draw. I want you to keep looking at the screen. Then you will draw 1 dot on top of the middle and 1 dot below the middle. Don't draw it too far away. Draw it close enough. Can you see this imaginary line, invisible line between the first 2 dots? You will draw 1 dot above and 1 dot below. Then you will join all 4 dots with lines. Then you are going to drop a line down. Ayana, look up. Don't look down. Don't draw. This can get confusing and then you wonder what happened. Pay attention. Abdul, don't draw. I want you to see.
Ma'am, you already taught me this. I know this.
Oh, you know this. Okay, never mind. Don't draw. Just wait. Just look up. So I've drawn the middle line really long, and I'm drawing the other 2 lines slightly shorter. And then I'm going to join these two. Okay? Okay, understood? Now we'll draw it together. Now I'm going to draw it in pencil. So we'll draw 2 dots. See the invisible line between the 2 dots. Imagine the center and draw a dot on top and the bottom. And you get this slightly flat diamond shape. And then you will draw a line in the center. From the center dot coming down. Abdul, we can draw now. You can draw now. And then 2 lines from the side. Now, it's very important that these 2 lines don't go as low as the first line. and then you join the bottoms. So this is how you get the 3D cube. Has everyone understood this part? Now suppose we have to draw, one second, let me draw another shape. Suppose we have to draw a prism. Do you know what a prism looks like? A prism is one where you have a triangle shape and then you have four sides to that triangle. So it's like you have these four sides and then you have only one side, like a pyramid. You know what a pyramid looks like, right? So for a prism, how do we do this? We are just going to draw one line straight. In the bottom, we are going to draw, from the bottom, we are going to draw two lines to the side. They're slightly flat. And then join these points to the top. So this becomes a prism or a pyramid. Now we can make more and more complicated shapes like these. And when we have to show crystals, they're just nothing but more complicated shapes like these. So let's say we want to make, what is this called now? Suppose you have a oval shape like this instead of a diamond shape. And then you drop two lines from the side and you draw a base around it, the same curve as the top curve. This will become a cylinder. Now we are going to combine some of these things together to create slightly more complex shapes. So look at this one. What if we have a pyramid shape where you have one line coming to the bottom. Then you have two lines going to the sides. So you get this. But what if the same thing extends down? So we extend this line down and then we join these lines to the side also. So can you imagine this shape in your head? You will have how many sides to this shape? How many sides are there to this 3D shape? Now let me imagine this for you. I'm going to draw a dotted line to make this like a transparent shape. We have one triangle on this side, one triangle on this side. Can you imagine behind this, there is another triangle and there's one more triangle there. Yeah?
Ma'am, can you make it again? I didn't understand.
Okay. So here I'm making, remember how we made the pyramid? Okay. So make a vertical line first and make the pyramid. How many sides does a pyramid have? Take a guess. Think logically. Take a guess.
Three.
3. There would be this triangle, and one behind these. That's also possible, but that would be a different kind of shape. So pyramid is one where you have 4 triangles. You have 1, 2, behind this there's 1, and behind this there's 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that? Yeah, Ayana. And also never forget that the base is also one side, one surface. Anna? So how do you count these? Suppose I give you a pyramid and I ask you to paint a pyramid. The whole pyramid, it's in space, it's hanging somewhere in air. So you will paint 1 triangle, 2 triangles, the triangle in the back, 1, 2. So this is 4 sides. And what if the bottom is not painted? Right? So the bottom is also considered a surface. Now suppose we remove the bottom, and instead of that we take 2 pyramids without the bottom, and we attach their bottom edges together. That's the shape we get over here. So to draw that, just extend this line a little further, about the same size, and then join the sides. Now to make this look 3D, what we're going to do is keep one side light, shade one side very lightly, very light as you can. So you will see this as a pyramid where light is coming from one side, right? But now the light is coming from the top, even the bottom will have shadow. So we will have a slightly darker shadow on the right side bottom and a very dark shadow on the left side bottom. Now, is it looking slightly 3D? Is yours looking like uh, a 3D shape? I didn't get any answer from anyone. Is it looking like a 3D shape or not? Can I get, okay, nodding will not help. I'm waiting for audible answer. Okay, now try making these shapes also 3D. So for this one, keep one side blank. Make one side slightly dark by just touching your pencil. Now remember, this shading is also some practice that we need. To just touch the pencil and shade, and then press the pencil down and shade only in the area if you can. Don't go outside. This practice is very important. So now my cube is looking more like a cube on the right. The pyramid is going to look more like a pyramid when I shade one side. And how do we shade a cylinder? A cylinder is shaded from dark to light. So you start off really dark on one side, go slowly, and look at how I'm holding my pencil. I'm holding it sideways and I'm just going up and down. Kyra, I want you to try and sit straight and don't bend your neck all over the place when you're drawing because so just look down and do it. Try to not twist your neck around so much. So you can keep going back and forth if you want to make some areas slightly darker and come back forward. And as you're coming to the right, start reducing pressure. Keep reducing pressure till there's no pressure at all in the last part. That's how you make a cylinder look, a cylinder, 3D cylinder. Now, any object which has got many sides is called, do you know what it's called? It's going to be the title of our page today. These kinds of shapes which have many sides, including a cube, these are called polyhedrons. Poly means many and hedron means sided. Polyhedron. Now all of these together are polyhedrons, but each of these will have a separate name. So now can you figure out how many sides is this shape going to have? How many do you see on the front? Just take a guess. I'm sure you will get it right. How many sides do you see in the front? Sides meaning a surface, edge. Well, not an edge. This is the edge. This is the face. How many faces do you see? Like in the cube, we see three faces. We see the top, we see the left side, and then we see the right side. Correct? For a pyramid, we see two sides. We see the left side and the right side. Now this last shape, how many sides do we see in the front?
4.
4, correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. And can you imagine how this must look in the back? Can you imagine this? Because I've drawn a little line here to give you a clue. There's one shape here, one triangle, 2, and 3, and 4. Can you imagine that? Can you see it? So how many sides will this shape have in all? How many do you think? It's okay to answer something and be wrong. Don't worry. If you don't get it right, that's okay. 8, correct. See, you're right. So it has 8 sides. And when you have an object with 8 sides, it is called something with octo. So this is called not octo, but octahedron. I think it's octa, or is it octo? Let me check. Yeah, it's octahedron. Do you know anything else which has 8 of something whose name starts with an octo or octa? No one? Come on, people. I'm sure you know. Something that starts, which has 8 of something and its name starts with an octa, octo. What is it?
Can we tell an animal's name of a sea creature's name?
Yeah, of course.
Octopus.
Exactly, you're right. So it can be anything. Many of these animals' names also come from Old Latin. All these are Latin words. So now we know this is called an octahedron. A pyramid shape is called a, how many does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it is called a tetrahedron. Tetra. Who also got it right, no? Now you don't have to memorize this right now, but it's fun to know that many words or many terms have got a Latin root. And if you understand a little bit of that, you can learn much more and much faster. Sorry. Now we will draw another shape. Now we're going to draw a shape which has got a hexagon on top. So we are going to again start off like the cube. We're going to draw 2 dots. Can you see this? I'm drawing 2 dots. Imagine a line in the middle. Draw a dot on top. Draw a dot on the bottom. Exactly like we drew the cube, correct? Now, here's what we're going to change. We're going to draw a line across the dot on top and a line across the dot at the bottom. We're not going to join those dots to dots. We're first going to draw 2 horizontal lines. Are you with me, everyone? Okay, this could become a little complicated. Now, from the edges of these lines, we will draw a contact line to the dot. See, it comes as a V shape, like a sleeping V shape on both sides. Do you know what kind of shape we've made? Do you know what kind of shape this might be? A shape that has got 6 sides is called what? Anyone? No one? Okay. This is called a hexagon. This is just a hexagon. And it is not a hexahedron. Can you explain to me why? This is just a hexagon right now. Can you think about what's the difference between this and this shape?
Because it is flat.
It's flat. Perfect. So it is just one side, one face, which has got 6 sides. So gon is used for when you have a side and it's flat. Now we are going to convert this into a 3D object. So here we will now extend lines from the bottom 2 points over here, the end of these lines. Just drop 2 lines straight down and join them. And then you will draw 2 lines from the side, just like we drew for the cube. Don't make them all the way down. And join these to the side. Now we have made what's called a prism. So prism is one where you have a shape like that and you have sides. So that part was a hexagon, and this is called a hexagonal prism. Now we can do prisms of all sorts. We can have a triangular prism, a square prism, pentagon, rectangle, hexagon, octagon, and so on. Suppose we want to make this into a 3D looking image. How will we shade this now? Do you remember? The more faces we have, the more shades we have to make. So suppose our light is coming from this side. This face will not have any shading. We'll have a very light shading in the panel in the middle. And then on the left side, we will have the darkest shadow. Now, does this look like a 3D object to you? A hexagonal prism? Now, if you want to draw a very irregular polyhedron that doesn't have any name, here's something interesting we can do. You can start off with making triangular shapes that can just grow. So look at how I'm making this. I'll first make a base. I'll make it here. I'll first make a base triangle like that. Then I will just keep making more and more triangles out of this. So from each point, I will keep making triangles, no squares. Can we do that? So I'm imagining a fake crystal-like shape here. So from any point, you can draw only one line or at best 2 lines, not 3 lines, not 4 lines. Like over here now, I will draw 2 lines, not more than that. From here, I'll draw 1 line here and then going to the other side. Now here I have lots of possibilities. From this point, I'll draw 1 line and then I'll draw another line. Between these two, I can just draw a single line.
Ma'am, can you show it again? I couldn't understand.
Yeah, I'll show you again. See, let's start with, you know how to draw a triangle? So we can draw a triangle that looks like this. And then from all these points, you just shoot out lines so that they join to make triangles. Now look, Kyra, look, wait. Pay attention to when I'm drawing this, huh? So from here now, suppose I'll draw 1 line here, and then from the other side, I'll draw a line. What do I get? A triangle, isn't it? From here again, I'll draw a line out. Which is the nearest point I can throw a line from? From here make a triangle. Again, from here, I'll throw a line out, and then I'll draw a line here. Again, a triangle. Got it? That's all I'm doing. So I'm trying to make some kind of polyhedron just by joining lots of triangles. Hmm. Are you able to draw this now? Ayana, did you get this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Kyra, keep your head slightly straighter. Yeah. You should move your book around, not your head. Ah, that's better. Move your book around. So if you want to draw a line like that, you don't have to turn your head to draw that line. Just move the book and then you will be able to draw the line. Now, when we want to color this or shade this, how are we going to do this? Decide on where you think the light should come from. Suppose our light is going to come from, like this one is coming from here, maybe this one can come from here. Every face that you're shading should be lighter towards the source of light and then darker towards the opposite side. But next door neighbors can be slightly different in shade. So I'm making these two very light, but I'm shading this one very, I'm not shading the first two. I'm keeping them unshaded. And then I'm shading the one next to it, but I'm keeping this also blank. Then I'm going to shade this one. So if you're not sure, then don't color. If you feel sure, then you can color or shade in. In every solid figure of this kind, there are many faces which will have, which will reflect light.
Ma'am, can we color whichever color we want?
Yeah, whichever one, but see, the lighter ones will be closer to where you can imagine a light source. Can you imagine the light coming from here? So these will be slightly lighter. And in between, some of them will also be unshaded completely. And then the ones that are away on the opposite side of the object could be a light color and mostly dark color, and very few will be blank. Do you get that, Kyra? Just try doing it that way and see how it turns out. See, many of these times when you are experimenting or doing something for the first time, you won't know how it looks until you try it out. And when you're
Different
trying,
shape, not like yours.
then how is yours? How is yours come?
I made a mistake, so I had to change the shape.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can-
All our shapes can be different. That doesn't matter. That's okay. Is it made up of lots of triangles touching each
What's
other?
that? Huh?
Is it made up of lots of triangles touching each other?
That's good.
That's good then. That's all you need.
I also made it with a light one.
Very good. See, now the bottom I'm making dark and darker or darkest, because these are on the other side of light. How is it going? Now, what does this remind you of? This shaded shape. Does it remind you of something? Anyone? No?
Crystal, it looks like
What does it look like?
crystal.
Sorry, what? Crystal. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does look like a crystal. You're right. But now here I'm going to show you a kind of crystal which is cut so that it lights up a lot in a lot of places. So here we're going to do this. Start off with a line. Make a small shape, huh? Don't make it too large. Oh, 1 second. So start off with a line. You can start off with 2 dots. and draw a line between the two dots. Just a straight line. Now, somewhere in the middle, you will draw a dot. And then another dot in the middle of these two, and another dot in the middle of the last two. So you have 3 dots on this line. Is everyone following me? Yeah? Now, right above this, we are going to draw some more dots. I want you to follow this very carefully because there are lots of dots and lines to be drawn. So we've drawn one line, drawn one dot in the middle of the line, and then on either side, we have drawn a dot at half points of that half of the line. Got it? Got it? Okay. Now, we are going to draw a dot just above this part. So this is the first part of the line. You have first part, second part, third part, and fourth part. Are you seeing, everyone? Just see this. See this carefully. I have divided this line into 4 parts. Just above the half mark of the first part, I'm drawing a dot. And above half mark of the last part of the line, I'm drawing another dot. And then I'm going to, actually we can draw a line through. So we've got one short line on top and a long line at the bottom. Has everyone got that? Now we continue to make these dots. So we've got the second part of the line. At half mark, but above on the line on top, you will draw another dot, and then again for the third part of the line. So you've got almost alternating dots so that you can make a zigzag shape. Okay, you're getting this? Now I'm going to draw right from the center dot. I'm going to imagine a line, a straight line, and then draw a dot at the bottom, some distance away. It doesn't have to be very far. And from the sides, I'm going to draw these lines straight. Now here you have to be very careful and draw lines as straight as you can, but don't use a ruler for this. Okay? And now from each of these dots, you can draw a line down. What does this look like to you?
Sure. Diamond.
It's a diamond, correct. Now, if you want to make this diamond look even more precious, here's something we can do. We can draw one more line of dots on top, which is shorter, and make more triangles. Now you should be able to make these triangles very well. So a diamond is prized because it traps a lot of light and looks very shiny. So it's just a clear crystal which allows for light to bounce from different surfaces. And it looks very, it just looks very beautiful when there's lots of light shining through. So you, when a diamond cutter gets a diamond in the rough, which does not have all these shapes, then he actually very carefully cuts the shape. Like how carefully we are just drawing it. Can you imagine? And then he has to cut those shapes, and each of those shapes will then bounce light. That is what we are going to sketch now or paint now. Now from this again, you can make more lines if you want to and make the diamond even more elaborate. But we are just going to stop at this and we are going to shade. Now this is the complicated shading that I was talking about. I just want you to see how the shading is done. So every alternate face, we are going to shade like that. So start with dark, going into light. This is the practice we have to make. So drawing the diamond is one thing, but also practicing shading is very important. So dark to medium to very light to nothing at all towards the bottom. Oh, we didn't use our color pencils at all. You can, okay, you can shade this.
Can we color the diamond in colors?
I'm thinking, yeah, you color the diamond in different colors. Why not? Try it, see how it looks. And the one above this will be in the other direction. So you will make it dark on top, but make it light coming towards the middle. So it's dark on the opposite side. And then the one next to it will be light and dark at the bottom. So they all keep changing their orientation. And it's bound to happen because each of these faces is pointing in a different direction. So it will catch a different amount of light and then it will cast a different kind of shadow. Now, logically, even the bottom, these two triangles, the long ones, they are dark at the bottom. And as you come towards the center, they start becoming lighter and lighter. And even if you make a similar shading next to each other, it won't matter as long as there is some kind of shading. Oh, 1 second. Who's showing me? Kyra. Let me see. Oh my, how pretty. They are looking lovely. Your polyhedrons are looking wonderful and they're slightly bigger also this time. I like this. Nice.
Ma'am, the top of the polyhedrons, can I color them? Because if Since they're not shaded?
Why don't you make another one? Make some other polyhedrons and then color all sides different. That way you will practice how to make them also, and you will see how they look if each side is different. Because I want you to keep some just in pencil. Don't color, just in regular pencil, not colored on any one side. Now, all these put together or a diamond seen from a different angle can look very complicated to draw. Very often, there are so many cuts on the top of a diamond that it tends to almost look like a circle, but it's not a circle. If they make it plain as like a circle, then you don't see all these glittering lights and shadows and dark and colors sometimes. So when a diamond cutter has to make a diamond look really shiny, they will increase all these cuts. And the number of faces on the inside of the diamond that outside light shines through, that is how bright a diamond can look. Okay, I want to show you how a diamond looks before it's cut and after it's cut. Okay, look at this. This on the left is a diamond. This is how diamonds are found in nature. These are called diamonds in the rough or rough diamonds. See, like that? And then a very, very expert diamond cutter will start removing one little face at a time. This is the most complicated job in the world, because from this, he has to create something like this. So he has to imagine. Oh, you were not able to see? Okay, can you see this? This is how a diamond looks before cutting. This is how the diamond looks after cutting. See, all these are rough diamonds. And then the more faces they make on the diamond, the shinier it looks. See, this looks like an interesting fact. This is how a diamond cutter imagines the diamond inside the rough diamond. And see how much of it is going to be cut away to give us a shiny diamond. Now, if you want to really color or shade a diamond, look at all these shapes. Look at these dark and light shapes. Oh, sorry. These are what we have to draw. See this? These are what you have to draw. Okay. Any questions? No questions? No questions is not a good sign. You must have some questions. How can you not have any questions? Is everyone very tired? Are you hungry? Remember, at the end of every class, you should have at least one question. You should be able to ask something. And the way to come to a question is think about whatever we have taught. Is there something else or more you want to know about this, about drawing shapes or polyhedrons, anything, even if it's a small thing? You should be able to think of something more other than that, what has been taught. Can you think of something? This is something that you should do in every class, whether it's art, whether it's science, whether it's in school, you're learning a lesson or a poem. You should have some question beyond that. Like, for example, the question that you could ask me about this is, if of the shapes that we've drawn, if there's something called an octahedron, what is the name of the shape that has 10 sides or 12 sides? Are there shapes like that? You should think about these things. That is how our brain is exercised. Okay? So try to do this next time when our class is on, think more than what I am telling you and try and see if you can ask me some questions towards the end of the class. This is it's generally a very good habit to have, because otherwise you will only learn as much as I can teach you, but you should be able to learn much more. You should be able to ask me a question that I don't know the answer for. Then I can also research and I can also find out something more. Then all of us will learn. Okay? Okay. All right. So that's the end of the class today. If you find any more interesting shapes, please make more shapes. Very nice, Kara. Very good. Your blue diamond is beautiful. Very good, Kuhu. Very nice. Good job. Nice. Good shading. Okay. Very good, Abdul. Now try making more shapes like that. You know how to build triangle upon triangle and make more shapes that you can shade. Okay. All right. So I'll see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.